Gilnor, the massive and ever-expanding realm of Runescape. Every day, adventurers just like you and I log in seeking wealth, community, and XP. Our fortunes rise and fall with the waves. But what is the history behind the stories, cities, characters? And yo, what the f*** happened to Tutorial Island? What's going on, YouTube? You know me as always, Causa over here to take you along on a journey through the past, present, and all the in-betweens of Runescape. Things are gonna get a little bit crazy, so buckle up, get your Dwarven Stouts ready, and let's go on the Twitch Hiker's Guide to RS3. So drugs, sex, violent crime, and Bitcoin just don't do it for you anymore?
Stay off the weed!
Well, hey, that's why there's Runescape. So what is Runescape? Let's break it down. Basically, Runescape is an hour-to-experience conversion game that tells you how well you're doing in life. Once you join Runescape, you can never really leave, you just take extended breaks. Runescape is a life commitment. Here, we can take a walk through Troll Wars, Ashdale. But hey, who cares about that right now? Let's talk about Burthrope. Burthrope is an Asgardian settlement ruled by Prince Anlaf and run by the Imperial Guard. It was founded after the War of 164 when the Imperial Guard and the White Knights fought side by side against the dreaded Black Knights. Imperialists and White Knights on the same side? You'd never see that theme occurring in a modern day. We talk more about that war in this video, but you can just go digging on the interwebs for a boner-inducing copy of T.S. Church's Betrayal at Falador yourself. The book isn't entirely accurate to canon, but with that said, there are 2 sequels, and it does have some shoutouts in Gilnor, so I think that's pretty neato. Burthrope sits as one of only 2 spots in Asgarnia that are not controlled by the White Knights. It's bordered by Taverley to the south, which we'll call Diet Burthrope, or Burthrope Next, the Burthrope for a new generation. To the west is White Wolf Mountain, and to the north and east we have Death Plateau and the Wilderness. But don't worry, there's a giant cliff and a bunch of manpower in place to help Burthrope protect itself. Kinda like how I have a bunch of measures in place to help segue to today's sponsor.
No, God!
Just kidding. No one's gonna sponsor me. Yet. Now, Prince Anlaf has been in hiding for the past couple of years, fearing he'd be hurt or otherwise assassinated in the recent political spectrum.
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
Prince Anlaf's father, King Valence, has been absent from public eye for some time, since about 2 years prior to the war to be exact, leaving one to wonder if he's even still alive. But we'll talk about that more when we visit Falador. But first, let's take a look at the Imperial Guard and see what they're about. In the absence of Prince Anlaf, Commander Denulth is the de facto leader of the Imperial Guard. Looking like Mr. Clean with a resting grim face, look at this guy. And Captain Jute looking like he hopped out of Disney's Mulan, both the video game and the movie. Now, Burthrope features lots of shops geared towards newer players, like Carwen Essencepinder's magical rune shop, and Gaius' two-handed shop way up by the Agility Course. Speaking of agility courses, the Burthrope Agility Course is the first agility course adventurers are able to complete. Now when it comes to the grind, this is the perfect way to prepare yourself for what lies ahead in RuneScape. I mean, it only takes around 24 seconds to complete, so by the time we're even done speaking this part of the video, you'll have completed a lap. Hopefully. Shout out Kobe. Don't worry. Unlike the rest of the game and most of life, you can fail some obstacles, but you can't be hurt for it. Level 10 in a couple minutes to get those agility gains. Burthrope is also where you can find Mistress Farah, who you turn your daily challenges into. Tammy Grubber, who gives you a free Wicked Hood, which beats the one you have to pay for from the wizards in the tower, but we'll tell you about that later. Bob the Jagex Cat, We don't have enough time to get into the importance of cats in RuneScape, but just remember Bob, trust me on this one. Dunstan, who can repair your gear later, when you have to repair it. And yes, you will have to repair gear eventually. I know. Cry now. And finally, speaking of crying, there's also Juan, who will have you irritated that you don't have enough loyalty points for that aura you really wanted at least 80 levels ago. So what's the nightlife like in Burthrope? Well, there's the games room. Reopened by the Prince in 169, this former disaster shelter, storeroom, or possibly dungeon was converted into a meeting room for those old dudes you see playing board games in the park. If you like checkers,
Drops.
Connect 4,
Rune Link.
Reversi,
Rune Versi.
and Lines,
Seriously, man.
it was
Seriously.
just a joke, bro.
Like,
It was just a
seriously,
joke. Dude, it was a joke.
Come on, man. We're
Dude,
never
like-
gonna get noticed that way.
Dude,
bro.
we will,
How
I
you gonna
promise.
be making jokes? Like,
Okay,
what do you
okay,
mean
okay,
it's just a joke?
okay,
Get it together, man.
okay.
Get it together.
These games are all actually pretty fun to play with your buddies. And though you don't get any rewards for playing, they're a great way to PvP without risking that sick fit you picked up from Anton and the Warriors Guild. Or just take a load off from
The Grind.
And hey, as far as getting no rewards goes, Jagex could change that one day. What's that? You say your clanmate with the 15-year cape wipes the board with you like a tissue?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
Well, there would be other things to do if it wasn't for the mountain trolls. Mountain trolls are a cave-dwelling, no record-keeping, adventurer-eating, faces-only a mother could love having race that smell like Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump's stunt body double when he gets out of a costume. It's good to see you both are healthy, though. Don't sue. They take the name of the first thing they eat when they're born, so naturally, there exist trolls like Kraka, Dad, and even one named Cliff. The trolls set up shop on Death Plateau and roll in each night trying to tell the club owners to turn down the bass.
Turn down for what?
Cliff, who's bigger than Kraka, who's even bigger than Dad, who's almost as big as the hole in my life when he left. But harassing trolls with a well-placed checkerboard slap and listening to a history lesson aren't all you get when you come to Burthrope.
What we do here is go back.
The Warriors Guild is run by the Green Cavalier flexing Haralac Manorists. Now to get in here, you're gonna need some training. But what you'll find inside is well worth it. There are 3 floors inside the guild and a point system for all the games. And on the first is a machine where you can animate and then fight a suit of armor, a bank for banking stuff, and a food and potion shop. By the way, they make a great cheese pizza. The second floor features a shot put and a shield game, and as we mentioned earlier, there's Anton's Armory, which is neat for easy invention components later on in the game. Now while these activities are fun, and there is a slight advantage in gaining points from them all instead of just one, it may not be worth the time for some players who can just kill suits of armor in a few hits. But you decide for yourself what you think is best. Lastly, we come to the 3rd floor. It's the Camfrina Fight Club.
Seen anything like it. He was like a one-man army.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
In an ode to Odysseus, you bash the eyes in of dozens and dozens of Cyclopses in an attempt to secure the all-powerful and wanted Defender. Defenders are cool because they let you use both dual-wield and defensive abilities without the need to switch between weapon binds. This might prove very useful for you mobile players out there. And there are several available here, ranging from Bronze all the way up to Dragon. Using your points from the games in the guild, get in the fight and get on the hunt. Once you get one, you can walk out, talk to Camfrina again, and go right back in to hunt for the next highest one. As we said, there is a slight advantage to using the option with all of your points versus one, including reduced total point per minute costs, bonuses to spawns, defender drops, and having some drops noted. But, as we said, it may not be useful for some players who can just kill the suit of armor in 1 or 2 hits, and they can get on the grind immediately. Again, decide for yourself what you think is best, and good luck out there with the hunt. Once you get a Dragon Defender, check out the Barrows Brothers for your next highest one. Oh, and don't try to pull a fast one on Camfrina. She'll warn you when it's time to go. Our last stop in Burthrope is for those of you even more seasoned adventurers, the Heroes Guild. Guarded and run by Ashiates, the Heroes Guild is a collection of adventurers, travelers, and notable figures from all across Gilnor. From the table of signature heroes who sit at the top, to the dragon weapon selling Helemos, to the basement where you can mine Dracolith, fight a caged dragon,
This is my wife, Janice.
and refresh your enchanted Dragonstone jewelry. There's plenty of fun times to be had here. It's not a bad place to mine Dracolith if anything else, and until you can get your summoning up to get a familiar that recharges your glory for you or your Rings of Wealth, this is going to be one of your most and least favorite places.
Dip, dip, potato chip, dip, dip, potato chip.
To get into the Heroes Guild, you'll need to beat the aptly named Heroes Quest.
Wow.
It's one of the more fun quests out there, and it's worth the effort, so get to questing. Now, over the years, Burthrope and Taverley have been reshaped extensively, first into Tutorial Land, and then a year later in 2013, Ashdale became Tutorial Island. Before Tutorial Island came back in 2018, and then just recently, in February of 2021, Jagex introduced Davendale, a new Tutorial Island for mobile players only.
If you need instructions on how to get the instructions on how to get the instructions,
leaving Burthrope and Taverley as 2 landing points for new adventurers to learn the actual ins and outs of Gilnor. Having been updated at the same time like relationship statuses after a breakup, Taverley's got a couple of new additions and a huge facelift. Though I intended for Burthrope and Taverley to be in the same video, there's just too much to talk about in terms of lore, history, and interesting spots and places to see. So, if you enjoyed the tour, stay tuned for the next one, and please, like, smash that sub button, and share it with your friends if you found it funny. Let me know what you think I missed out on Burthrope. Any characters you think deserved a nod? You want to get mad at me for not mentioning someone you thought was important? Drop it in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.